Welcome to this video on software design patterns, a practical approach. In this video, we will be discussing the concept of software design patterns and how they can be applied in real-world scenarios. Software design patterns are a set of reusable solutions to common software development problems. They are proven solutions that have been tested and refined over time and can help developers create high-quality software that is easy to maintain and extend. In this video, we will be discussing the three main categories of software design patterns: creational, structural, and behavioral. We will also be exploring some of the most commonly used design patterns within each category. By the end of this video, you will have a solid understanding of software design patterns and how they can be used to improve the quality of your software. So, let's get started. The first category of software design patterns is creational design patterns. These patterns are used to create objects in a way that is flexible and efficient. The first creational design pattern we will discuss is the singleton pattern. This pattern ensures that only one instance of a class is created and provides a global point of access to that instance. This can be useful in situations where you need to ensure that only one instance of a class exists, such as when managing a database connection. Another commonly used creational design pattern is the factory pattern. This pattern provides an interface for creating objects, but allows subclasses to decide which class to instantiate. This can be useful when you want to create objects without specifying the exact class to be created. The builder pattern is another creational design pattern that is used to separate the construction of a complex object from its representation. This can be useful when you need to create objects with many different configurations or options. Finally, the prototype pattern is a creational design pattern that is used to create new objects by cloning existing ones. This can be useful when you need to create many similar objects, but don't want to create each one from scratch. Overall, creational design patterns provide a flexible and efficient way to create objects in your software. By using these patterns, you can ensure that your code is easy to maintain and extend. The second category of software design patterns is structural design patterns. These patterns are used to organize classes and objects in a way that is flexible and efficient. The first structural design pattern we will discuss is the adapter pattern. This pattern allows two incompatible interfaces to work together by creating a bridge between them. This can be useful when you need to use a class that doesn't quite fit with the rest of your code. Another commonly used structural design pattern is the decorator pattern. This pattern allows you to add functionality to an object dynamically without changing its original structure. This can be useful when you need to add new features to an object without modifying its existing code. The facade pattern is another structural design pattern that is used to provide a simplified interface to a complex system. This can be useful when you need to hide the complexity of a system from its users. Finally, the composite pattern is a structural design pattern that is used to represent a hierarchical structure of objects. This can be useful when you need to work with groups of objects as if they were a single object. Overall, structural design patterns provide a flexible and efficient way to organize classes and objects in your software. By using these patterns, you can ensure that your code is easy to maintain and extend. The third and final category of software design patterns is behavioral design patterns. These patterns are used to manage communication between objects and classes in a way that is flexible and efficient. The first behavioral design pattern we will discuss is the observer pattern. This pattern allows objects to be notified when the state of another object changes. This can be useful when you need to keep multiple objects in sync with each other. Another commonly used behavioral design pattern is the strategy pattern. This pattern allows you to define a family of algorithms, encapsulate each one, and make them interchangeable. This can be useful when you need to switch between different algorithms at runtime. Template method pattern is another behavioral design pattern that is used to define the skeleton of an algorithm in a base class, but allows subclasses to override some of its steps. This can be useful when you need to define a general algorithm, but allow for some customization. Finally, the command pattern is a behavioral design pattern that is used to encapsulate a request as an object, thereby allowing you to parameterize clients with different requests. This can be useful when you need to queue, log, or undo requests. Overall, behavioral design patterns provide a flexible and efficient way to manage communication between objects and classes in your software. By using these patterns, you can ensure that your code is easy to maintain and extend. In this video, we have discussed the concept of software design patterns and how they can be applied in real-world scenarios. We explored the three main categories of software design patterns: creational, structural, and behavioral, and discuss some of the most commonly used design patterns within each category. By using software design patterns, you can create high-quality software that is easy to maintain and extend. These patterns provide a flexible and efficient way to solve common software development problems and have been tested and refined over time. In conclusion, software design patterns are an essential tool for any software developer. By understanding and applying these patterns, you can create software that is both efficient and effective. Thank you for watching this video on software design patterns, a practical approach. We hope you found it informative and useful. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below.